There you go. Okay. So, yeah, so basically I do choose low carb options. Always go for the cauliflower rice or the veggie sort of noodles, zoodles, rather than pasta or rice. However, I know Taz finds that if he doesn't have any carbs, he gets very hungry, but you know, he's a young man and he can do that. But you know, I've also learned a lot about fat and how important it is. It's not just important, you know, we grew up, well, you know, my generation grew up with no fat, or, you know, cut the fat off your meat, or, you know, like just avoid all the fats and that are really bad for you. And in fact, it's a myth. It's something that we were, I could go into conspiracy theories and I probably shouldn't, so I won't. However.
No, but certainly during the 80s, there was a big thing about, you know, any sort of fat, it will give you
your heart disease and
coronary issues.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
And I have a question, because since we started doing all these low-fat foods or no-fat foods, the obesity problem has got very much worse.
Absolutely,
and my hand.
And that means more
sugar,
more healthcare
more sugar.
required. Yeah, I know, Teresa. I could be. yeah. No, don't even go margarine. It's just chemicals. So if you do use it, don't.
I suppose if your cholesterol is okay, you can just go ahead with the fat. It's only some people have got high cholesterol that they've got to monitor, I suppose, the fat.
Yeah, but there are still bad fats. And what I was going to say before is that so if everybody could mute themselves, please. If it's noisy where you are, thank you. So there's a chap called David, Dr. David Perlmutter, and he's written, Rosaria in Darwin. Well done.
What's his name? What's his name again?
Dr. David Perlmutter, P-E-R-L, and then Mutter, like German for mother. And he's written a book, and it just tells you how important fats are, and really important for your brain, and really important for prevention of Alzheimer's, and so many, you know, and diet is so connected. Your gut and your brain are so connected, and so it's really important to have really good gut health. Now, before I, you know, go on and on and on, I'm not a nutritionist. All I'm saying is stuff that I've learned from reading. So, you know, I would advise that you do your own reading, but also, with I said his name before, Michael Mosley stuff. His book, you know, he talks about that when you actually eat low carb, then your body, to fuel itself, because the carbs are full of sugar basically, and they convert to sugar, and that's what's going to fuel your body if you're using that. But if you go low carb and you eat the healthy fats, or even if you're not eating a lot of fat, but I mean fat is good for you, as I said, then your body's going to burn fat, and that is actually how you lose weight in his fast 800, or, you know, his 500 calorie a day thing, or I mean we did the 800 one. So fats are really important, and I just think that, you know, there's so many ways that you can have carbs, and there's so many ways that you can actually change the way you're eating and decrease your carbs. So that's that's sort of the premise behind, I guess, what I do and what I think about when I'm eating. But as I said, you guys need to do your own research on that. Don't just take what I'm saying as gospel. That's my take on it. So, but anyway, let's get going. So I do have a few notes here. So I am going to refer to them because I think it's important that there's some information to share. So just talking about the low carb fact, we have talked a bit about what I was going to say anyway. Low carb alternatives. So instead of rice, cauliflower rice, so easy in your Thermomix. It's literally just, you know, break the cauliflower into florets, and I will just give me for a minute. Okay, so you just break it into the florets, you put it in your Thermomix, you put it on, you know, speed 4 or 5 for literally about 4 or 5 seconds, and just have a look at it. And if you want it finer, just chop it a bit more. That's super simple. You can do broccoli rice, you can do carrot rice. So it doesn't, if you don't like cauliflower, there's still no excuses. There's plenty of other vegetables you can use. You can use lettuce as a wrap instead of a flatbread. So, you know, if you think about a sanctuary bao, you automatically use a lettuce anyway, but you can do that for so many other things. Like we did the, what was the thing we made on Tuesday, Pam? The beef fajitas.
Yes.
I did make the wraps because we were doing that as a cooking experience, but you could absolutely you put that mixture into lettuce. You don't have to have the carbs as well. Oh yeah, that sugar film is great too. Yes, thanks, Carol. It's really good.
Damon Gano, yeah.
And also instead of like potato mash, have cauliflower mash. Cauliflower mash is just amazing. It's just delicious. And Jo Whitten of Quirky Cooking has an amazing recipe where she does a cauliflower and leek mash, and she uses ghee in that, so that's a good fat, or bone broth, or both. So lots of amazing things you can do there. And of course, cauliflower pizza bases. And a bit later on, I will share my screen. I've got a whole list on Cookie Do, and I can show you. There's a whole heap of stuff on there you can.
Oh, great.
All right. So the menu for today is the keto cheddar biscuits, a simple steamed salmon, the LCHF chicken Kievs, which I'm not actually going to cook because obviously my family are going to eat all this and they're not going to be able to manage the salmon and the Kievs for lunch. So I will make them so you can see how easy they are to make, because I was always put off by them and thought, oh, that's way too scary. And a keto lemon hollandaise to go with the salmon. So keto as opposed to low carb, high fat, low carb, high fat. Keto, my understanding is that your fats need to be at least 3 to 5 times the quantity of the carbs for it to be keto. And Catherine, she's asking about ghee. Why is ghee preferable to butter? I think when I went and helped at that retreat last year out of Darwin for the Indigenous people, which was Jo Whitten's recipes, we made ghee every day. So we cooked with ghee the whole time. Ghee is the most amazing thing. I always have it in my kitchen. I have it in my cupboard here. It's so simple to make in your Thermomix. It's got a very high smoke point, so it's better for you than a lot of things that have a lower smoke point. And it is so delicious. It smells like caramel. You could put a spoon in there and eat it, and it's not bad for you, okay? I mean, it sounds disgusting, but it's really yummy. All right. I'm going to make guacamole, and I'm going to just show you boiled eggs, because I don't know if you all know that boiled eggs are no, you don't need to refrigerate it. We were up, out of Darwin, and it sat on the bench the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So now I've got to find, I'm going to go back to the other view so I can find the Thermomix Mandy one, number 2. All right, so I'm going to just start with the keto biscuits. So I have actually saved these in my week, all my recipes in my week, because it's the easiest way to do it, obviously. Keto cheddar biscuits. All right. Oven's heated. And I'm not using, I'm just using the Thermomix mat, which you'll see when I silicone mat, which you'll see. If you're using your baking paper, please, super sustainable in this household. If you can reuse it, which you would be able to after these, just give it a bit of a wash. All right, cheese. Oh, sorry, I should have pointed out too. It won't register the 4 ounces now. This is an American recipe. So if you can see on there, it's automatically gone to ounces because it's an American recipe. I love the intelligence of this machine. So good. 5 seconds, speed 7. We've all done the cheese, but the cheese is just amazing. And just a reminder that if you are doing, if you're doing parmesan to the top of your zoodle pasta rather than your actual pasta, your parmesan, much better to get a block of parmesan and grate it as you need it, rather than buying ready grated Parmesan, because of the anti-caking agent that's in it. So avoiding additives and preservatives by doing this.
Mandy, I tend to grate my Parmesan and put a bag of it in the freezer as well.
Oh, good idea.
And then it doesn't go off. It's really good.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know whether you were expecting Anne Batilli, I think.
I am, yes.
So she said she's having technical difficulties. Internet's shot today. I've heard that from somebody else too on a different matter. So could be interesting.
She was on before. I saw her. Anyway, I don't have blanched almonds. I could blanch them and peel the skins off, but I'm all for an easy life, so almonds are going in. That if you just touch the screen of your TM5 or TM6, the noise will actually stop. Although in your settings you can set it for...
Mandy, you might need to turn around. We're having a bit of trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let me just check my volumes up too. I could go up a little bit more. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So just by touching the screen of your Thermomix, you can stop the noise. But there are also in your settings you can change how long it goes for. Okay, the almonds, we all seen those. Transfer to a bowl and set aside. Okay.
Is that just almond meal? Yeah, I did.
Sorry, you'll see a bit more. I've realised that isn't it funny how when you grind them, they take up more space than when they're whole. I was just going to put them back in the container, but it's not enough room, so I just have to get another bowl out.
So Mandy, the question was, and I wasn't sure. Sorry, I wasn't sure who said it, but she said, "Is that almond meal?" So yeah, when you
yes.
grind down the almonds, that basically is almond meal that you would buy, but without any.
Yeah. So I'll just show you. There. So go back in there now. 4 ounces of unsalted butter. The butter cubed. Go. And I'll put the lid on. 4 minutes. See, we're now 185 degrees Fahrenheit. It's got to turn to speed 1. Okay. Now, whilst that's happening, I will just share my screen with you, and I can show you the collection that I've made on cookie dough. So here we go, whole lot of things. And I've also got one of my cookie dough, what do I call them? A low carb cookie dough playlist. So if anybody wants that, just pop it in the chat box. If you're in my group, then I will upload it up there. If you're not and you would like it, if you want to join my group, welcome. It's called Cook and Connect with Mandy Powers, Thermomix Team Leader. A bit of a mouthful, but there you go. I have various playlists up there. It will just be under files in the group. But there, these cauliflower pizza bases. Look at this, fat bombs. I tell you what, when I was in Darwin, we made fat bombs, oh, they were just in case, because a lot of the Indigenous people have got diabetes, and they were there, you know, in case they were hypo. But all the staff were coming and saying, "I'm really not feeling well. I think I need a fat bomb." They were so good. We've got the keto taquitos, a keto fat bread, a white chicken chili, cookies, the lemon hollandaise I'm going to make a bit later on, various pancakes, the cauliflower cheese, the keto cauliflower breadsticks. I haven't made those yet, but they actually look really appealing, but I'm a bit of a cauliflower girl. Pedox waters, the keto chicken cheddar biscuits, mayo, cheesecake, avocado dressing. This is the simple steamed salmon we're going to make. And it does suggest with this that you can serve it with the avocado dressing, but as I'm making the guacamole, I thought we'd do the hollandaise. And then these are just ones, they're not labeled keto, but if I put in low carb, they came up. So here we go. There's an example of using the lettuce as a wrap. Beef rendang. So that there's a keto beef chili. And when you do click in the recipes, not sure if you know or not, but you click, oh, why does it log me out? I know I say this every time, but I don't know how many times I'm on Cookie Do a day, and I go in there and I'm not logged in. So whenever you've got all your nutritional thing down here. What am I talking about? Nutrition, yeah, values down here. So this one, the carbs are 21 grams and the fat 63 grams. And then I always have a look through. Called it keto, didn't it? So I wouldn't have thought that was qualified as keto, but anyway, that's all right. They know more than I do. And remember too, down the bottom here, you get tips here. So this one is saying chili will keep in the fridge for 5 days or can be frozen. Got with sliced avocado, da-di-da-di-da-di-da. So cilantro, you probably all know is coriander, but that's American, the coriander. Yeah, so let's just go back out of that one. And again, back into the list. Low carb lasagna, low carb bread, low carb frittata, low carb burger buns. I mean, I do tend, for the low carb thing, I tend to avoid breads and things like that as much as possible. So don't necessarily make those, but there's some, like eggs are really filling as well, and the almond meal and stuff. So some of these little things would be really good, and they're not labeled low carb, but when you actually go into them, sorry about keeping them to move everybody around. 1 gram of carbs and 4 grams of fat. So that actually just about qualifies for keto. So you've just got to have a bit of a look in there, and that's all right. So yeah, so there's a whole lot of stuff on this list, as I said. Keep going. Detox salad, garlic prawns. This is the most amazing soup. Kelly will vouch for that. She had to go and buy the ingredients as soon as I took her some. And so on. Low carb zucchini lasagna, whole lot of stuff. That's really delicious too. And some of these things, if you just cut out the rice, that would be perfect. It fits into the criteria. Anyway, I'm going to stop sharing and we will go back to, we're at the next stage. Whoever's not on mute, would you mind muting, please? So half a teaspoon of garlic powder and half a teaspoon of onion powder. Now I just have this dried onion, so I'm just using that. That's going in. Salt I've got here. Put that in. Pepper. I put everything so it's in a really easy to access place.
Catherine Tiernan's Timon's saying, can you use fresh garlic?
I guess you could, because you are it's going to be cooked, but it does say that it's just, yeah, because it's cooked, it will probably be okay. My almonds going back in. Sorry, you can't really see. I'm up a little bit. Almonds going back in. I've got my cheese going back in.
And also, are you using grass-fed butter, Mandy?
I'm not, because it's a question of finding it.
Yes.
And how expensive is it?
And Sue said she used celery salt yesterday. That's interesting.
Oh, cool. Good idea. 2 eggs. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I wonder, because Sue's daughter Jo said hers really rose a lot, I wondered maybe she used teaspoons of baking powder. I don't know. But might be a difference. Lid on. 15 seconds. Speed 7.
Mandy,
Yeah.
have you tried making the cheddar biscuits with some of the almond pulp from almond milk dried?
I haven't. I have made other things with that, but I haven't actually tried them. But it's a good idea because I just save my almond pulp, put it in the freezer, and then when I'm going to use it, yeah, I'll dry it out, or I'll show you what that looks like a moment. On Cookie Do, there is a recipe called almond milk biscuits, and that one you use the almond milk that you make and also the pulp in the biscuits. They're a little chocolate biscuit, Lily's Keats recipe. 2 ounces of green onions, which is just spring onions in Australian and English. 10 seconds, speak 3. No, let's see if they have access stage.
Oh, so Sue's saying how much goodness is left in the almonds after making nut milk?
It's a good question. I haven't really thought of it like that, but it's just a question of not wasting things. And the almond pulp, I use it a lot in, if I'm making cookies or something, then I would do that. Or, the whole orange cake, use it in that. And it all works. I'm sorry. Place onto prepared, oh, hang on. I must have got it too. With slightly wet hands, form the mixture into 10 round rolls. That was. So there's the mix. I'm going to bring this over here so I can show you what I'm doing. That's my very well used baking mat. I love it because it's, you can reuse it. All right, wet hands.
Thanks, Teresa. That's true. Yeah, still lots of protein, fat and fibre left in the pulp.
Thanks, Teresa.
Mm.
All right. So I might make them a bit smaller today. And I'm not going to make all of them because otherwise we'll be here waiting for me to, you don't need to see that. So I will make a few and I'll put them in the oven so they bake and you see what the finished product looks like. Now, what other notes? So the first time I made them, I used Parmesan cheese because I didn't have any cheddar. Absolutely fine. You can obviously make them whatever size you like. You can keep in the fridge for 3 to 4 days, or you can freeze for 2 to 3 months. And it says best. So a lot of this was either through what I've done, or there's always tips at the bottom of your recipes. So always check those out. That's where it says about keeping them. So and it says if you do freeze them, it says best thawed and warmed in the oven at 180 degrees, but it doesn't say how long for, so I would say at your discretion. And they are, I don't know, Sue would probably vouch for this, they are very filling, so they do a really good job if you are hungry and you know that you're actually having something that it's still healthy and it's a good fat in there. I think they're definitely an adjunct to our week. Mm. And the other thing we do with them sometimes is split them. You think we've been making them forever. I've been making them for about 3 or 4 weeks. When we do make them, sometimes we split them and just put nut butter in the middle too. Yum. All right, that will do. I'll just give my hands a wash and I'll have to actually clean this bowl in a moment. So, just got a few. I've got a few there. You can see I've still got a heap of mixture in my bowl too. Oh, hang on, got a lot in there. So, but I will make more of those later. So then it says put onto prepared baking sheet. 20 to 23 minutes. Is Boone still on there?
I think so.
Could you time for me, please?
Oh, Boone, are you there?
Time for me. I'll probably smell them. All right. So what we're going to do next, I'll just move on to the next thing, and then we can. There's a lot to get through. I've been a little bit ambitious. So it says allowed to cool before serving. Okay, and I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. So then I'm going back into my week, and I'm going to do the simple steamed salmon. Now, I'm sure you're all aware that supermarkets aren't exactly, oh, I'm going to boil my kettle first, aren't exactly super well stocked. So getting a big piece of salmon, and I didn't have time to go to a fishmonger yesterday, so I have actually got a few pieces of salmon. So I'm just grabbing those out.
You must do the dials with your finger.
Okay, and what it says is I'm going to wet this paper, and the reason you wet it is because it means that when we start steaming the salmon, it's going to the steam is going to get through quicker than if you start off with dry paper. Otherwise, you've got to wait for the steam to get through that paper as well. So always put it under the tap, and then I literally scratch it all up like that and pop it out. Right. Now I'm going to put my salmon on here. 3 pieces because there's 3 of us. Wash my hands again. Okay, so I've got those on the paper, and so it basically says you do up to 1 kilo. Sprinkle with salt and pepper. Two cloves of garlic. Well, I had a really big clove, so I've actually quartered it. Just put that on top. It smells amazing. I've got some fresh herbs from my garden, which are rosemary and thyme. I'm putting those on too, and drizzle with some olive oil. Partly wrapped in baking paper. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm actually going to just scrumple up those ends a little bit like that and put it into the Varoma dish, which I've relocated to the other side of the kitchen. So just bear with me. Now my regulars on Tuesday will know that I did something similar on Tuesday. So my salmon's all wrapped up in there. That's literally going on that. Kilo of water. All right. Little trick with this, because the actual steaming, it says I think it's 20 minutes. But what I'm going to do is use boiling water, because it takes just about 10 minutes to get your water boiling in your Thermomix, so you can shorten the time by using boiling water.
So what she's done, she's put, I wish we could see just up there. She's put the lid on.
Place the Varoma in position. And move it forward a little bit there.
And she's put the steaming thing on top.
Get the lid on there. There it is.
Mandy, you might want to move the camera up a little bit just in case people haven't seen the Varoma.
Oh, like there, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yes, it comes with.
And then it says 20 minutes on here, but I'm going to do it for 10 because I've got the boiling water in there. We'll just have a look at it. The other thing I am going to add about halfway through, actually I'm going to put it on for 5 first, because halfway through I'm going to add a few veggies. Oh, hang on, I need to turn it on. So I'm going to turn that back down. Here we go, speed 2. All right, so that's just going to do its thing there. And we're going to come over to this one, but I just need to actually wash a bowl. I want to make sure that when I start my hollandaise, that I have a clean, cold bowl. So I'm just going to put this into something else, but I'll put it in before. Put the rest of this mixture in and just give my bowl a really quick clean. It's quite sticky, that's why you need You need to have the wet hands. And everybody knows what you have to do to clean your blades. Type it in the chat box. If my people don't know, they need to be shot. Because I tell them that many times. Anyone put it in there? Yes, thank you. So turbo, always turbo to clean your blades. And then so that the blade, that the lid releases, you must go back to your home page. Otherwise it won't release. There we go, clean blades. Let's finish scraping this out. You'd think 3 bowls would be enough, wouldn't you? But it's actually, it's not enough. To have enough. Just to keep going. Let's do need to wash this one quickly. All right, but there you go. You can see oh, hang on. You can see I've got a lot more mixture left there to make some more of those biscuits, which I'll do later. Now, I don't know if you've seen these. This is the eco-friendly Thermomix brush. Looks like a toilet brush, but it is made out of bamboo. It's bamboo, but it's not plastic. That's what I like about it. So I'm just going to quickly wash the bowl with that.
You'll have
And
to.
then we'll move on to the thing that most of you probably come for, which is the chicken kebs. Well, actually, need to make sure. Okay, so I do need to make sure this bowl is really dry. So that's the other time when you can use turbo.
Now, Rosaria said, "What's turbo?" So you might like to show the button, perhaps.
Yeah. So Rosaria, just type in. I think you might have a TM5. Just let me know if you do. But I will show you what.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's slightly different on yours, but it does the same thing. All right. So turbo on a TM5, you've got a little thing down the bottom of your screen which looks like a book. And when you click on there, you either get the turbo mode or the kneading function. So if I go here, you either get the little dough mode there or you get turbo. So turbo, I put that on now. I also showed how dirty my bowl is, unfortunately, too. I haven't done a really good job of cleaning it. But it just spits all the water that's around the blades onto the outside. Yeah, see, it's still a bit dirty, but it's actually only, I'm going to be putting nuts and things in there, so I'm not too worried about that. But I just want to get the moisture out. So I'm just going to sacrifice a tea towel.
Great tip. Thanks for that. Very handy to use, Rosaria.
Oh, it's amazing. Turbo is one of my favourite things. So on the TM6 with all the new functions, I use most of them in guided cooking, but turbo I use a lot outside of guided cooking, along with the scales, of course. All right. So, my week. Low carb, healthy fats that you can get. So when I say healthy fats, that is one way you can talk it. It's just really meant to be high fat, but I think of it as healthy fat. It's a good thing. 100 grams of raw almonds.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of coming on board, Rosaria, that you learn all sorts of very
Absolutely, absolutely. Come and join our team, Rosaria.
Exactly, you'll learn even more.
We'd love to have you. Vanessa was your consultant. I've met you, haven't I? Okay. All right. So my salmon, that's 5 minutes. So what I'm actually going to do is, they're served with lemon. I'm going to just add a few veggies on my Baroma tray. Some bok choy and some broccolini. Put that up there. And I'm going to put on another 5. We'll have a look at it. It says 5.5. That's okay. There we go. All right. Back to our raw almonds here. Put it on. 5 seconds, speed 9.
Yes, Vanessa was Rosaria's consultant.
Biscuits are smelling really good.
Oh, and Lisa's saying, is this the skinny mixed chicken Kiev recipe?
It is.
Oh, it is. Sorry.
Yes. But it's on cookie dough now, which it never was before, so that's the really good thing. Right.
Yeah, there's lots of those skinny mixed
Yeah, we've got 2 collections, haven't we?
Yeah.
All right. So the almond meal, ready. Now in here I have a bit dried oregano, onion powder, which is my dried onion again, paprika, salt, and pepper. All going in.
I'm interested in seeing this too, Lisa. I've heard very good things about it.
Have you ever made them, Pam?
Beg your pardon?
Have you never made them?
No, I haven't, because we are a non-garlic, non-onion family. So I figured this is probably pushing it a little bit to do this one, but...
You can put something else in there instead of garlic, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so 5 seconds. It's just going to mix everything up. We're just mixing those herbs in with the, this is the coating on the outside, most of it anyway. Oh. And it says to put it into a large shallow bowl. So that is what this is for. So it's just makes it easier for coating them later when it's in something like that. Okay, put that one aside. Do not rinse mixing bowl. How good's that when you see that?
Now, Sue's saying, oh, there's a couple of things. So is there a recipe for the dried onion?
Oh, no, the dried onion. I just want some of those Asian dried onions. I've had them in my cupboard for years, but I'm still using them. I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah, or if maybe if you had a dehydrator or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Parmesan. And
Sue's saying they're great, but did the butter run out? Because she bought chicken minced quite fine. So
oh, no, but we're going to mix our own chicken.
Yeah, that's true.
10 seconds, speed 9 for the cheese.
You'll have to give that a go next time, Sue. Mince your own chicken.
That's my dried onion. Just for, you know, from an Asian grocery at some point in time.
Mandy,
Yes.
if you mince chicken and you put it on turbo to clean the blades, how well can you clean them so it does not?
If anything with meat in it, I would pull it apart fully, absolutely pull it apart.
Mm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Thank you.
So that's just my parmesan. Put that in another container. grams, and my butter is in the fridge because it said cold.
Mm.
100 grams of salted butter. It definitely says cold.
So Lisa's saying she likes to cook hers in the oven rather than a frying pan, which
yep, that's what I do too.
Butter doesn't run out, and great to prepare in advance and freeze, then cook from frozen. Yeah, that's a good tip.
Sorry, what was that one?
To cook it, so freeze them and then.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit low on my butter here. I've moved everything out of my kitchen, and now I can't find anything. I can't remember where I've hidden my knives.
You've had a Corona clean out, have you?
No, just so I can make so it looks tidy in this corner. All for you guys. No, it's usually pretty tidy, but I just need a bit more space with the 2 Thermomixes, I think. All right. 2 to 3 garlic cloves. So I've got 2 garlic cloves. I know some people would say put in as much as you want. Oh, no, I have got 3, sorry. 3 garlic cloves. There we go. And then 10 grams of flat leaf parsley, and then the next one is 10 grams of fresh basil. Now, really important, with a TM6, you've got the 1 gram increments, so you can actually weigh, it's easy to weigh small amounts with your herbs. It will show up. But if you've got a TM5 or say a TM31, it's 5 gram increments, so you need to put your herbs in a handful. Otherwise, they won't weigh. But anyway, my time was in there as well, actually. Yeah, just to prove that it was. Oh, hang on. I never get the camera right. There it is. There's some in there. Now it's just going to mix that up for 40 seconds. And I'm just going to check this. Veggies. Good.
That's looking pretty good. We can't hear at the moment, Mandy, because the other thing's going, but that's looking pretty good.
So my veggies are cooked, but my salmon isn't quite. So I'm just going to take the veggies out and put them into a thermo server. And I'll put the salmon back on. So what I've done, I've probably got the wrong shape thermo server, should have had an oval one, but whenever I'm going to use a thermo server, I actually have some boiling water sitting in it, so it warms it up and it will keep the keep everything warmer for longer. So my veggies are gone in there. And my salmon is going back on for a little bit longer. Also, tip, whenever you're taking the lid off your varoma, always tilt it away from you so the steam doesn't come into your face.
Okay. So Lisa's saying, what's the reason for wrapping the salmon in the baking paper? Why not just steam it naked?
I think it was just so that everything stayed on top of it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Right, back to here. So I'm now going to transfer my butter. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Into another bowl. So I will put it in here. So even though we're doing all these different components, I haven't had to wash a bowl yet.
That looks amazing.
It's a fantastic colour, isn't it? There we go. All right, so that's that. Next, do not rinse mixing bowl. Yay! 500 grams of chicken breast. So I've just chopped that up into pieces. In it goes. 1 egg.
Mandy, those they look quite big, those chicken bits. Did you have like thigh fillets maybe cut into 4?
I know, but it specifically says chicken breast.
Oh, it's breast, sorry.
Yeah, chicken breast, yeah. So no, I mean they're like that.
Good sized pieces.
Yeah. 1 egg, teaspoon of salt.
Rosaria's got a screen freeze, but she's stuck on the green butter, I think.
All right. Reserve Parmesan cheese, so that's going in. 20 grams of the reserve crumb, which is here. It's the one we're going to use to coat as well. I think what sort of put me off this before was thinking I had to mould whole chicken breasts round and deal with it that way, but you don't. So 40 seconds, speed 9. Preheat the oven, but I'm obviously not going to do that because we're going to have that later. Line a baking tray. I've only got a small tray. Recycled baking paper.
Very good, Mandy.
Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually pull this out here. I won't make all of them. I'll make a couple because again, it's just a time-saving thing. And we'll get out my bread mat. So anybody purchasing a TM6 this month gets one of these bread mats, but they get one of the new ones that's got some dimensions on it, so you can roll things out to certain dimensions, which is pretty cool. All right. So there's my chicken mixture. Pretty good living in this house. My son lives in America and he's over here. He came at the beginning of the COVID thing, but he will have to go back. And he said, I'm going to miss the food. And he did say, oh, well, I miss you guys too, but I'm going to miss the food. All right, I'll just do a quick turbo on that on the slide here. I just, as I do turbos, just to show you quickly, I can go to the home button here and it will actually save my recipe so I can come back to it. There we go. So you can see how much more there is actually. I could get out there now. Okay. Some more of that one. Actually going to put this on whilst I'm moulding these because I can't really do anything else in this machine. Need another clean bowl. I'm going to put it on a pre-wash. So again, I'm just going to go back into, go back to the home. I'm going to go pre-clean. I'm just going to turn it on. Oh, no lid. That would help. Gotta love the Thermomix keeping you under control. All right. Quickly going to check my salmon. Show you what that looks like. Looking pretty nice in there. So I'm going to put that into the thermo server as well with my veggies.
No, unfortunately, Rosaria, there's not a pre-clean on the TM5.
There is if you've got a cook key.
Oh,
there was an update. You've got a cook key on your TM5.
Ah.
There's an update. Or Rosario, you can join our team, start in September, and you can earn yourself a TM6 for 4 sales.
Yeah, best deal ever.
Best deal.
I had it actually, is that a recent one? Because I did an update last night on my TM5, but I haven't checked.
It's been around for a while, Pam.
Oh, okay. I'll have to have another look.
Yeah. All right, so I've got all that on the way. Okay, so divide this into 6, it said. So I'm going to do that wet hands.
Sorry, Mandy, how do you update it?
It will just come. It will just say that there is an update available,
Okay.
and it will. I don't know. It just tells you when there's one, doesn't it, Pam?
Yeah. So when you sync your cookie, so you might have something where you're updating one recipe, or you're doing a My Week or something like that. When you sync it, it will offer you the update.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Takes maybe about a couple of minutes usually.
Thanks.
So basically what you do is you push your chicken mixture out so it covers the palm of your hand. It's about the size of your hand. Noisy pre-wash going on in the background. You put some of your butter in the middle. Like that. And then you just fold it all around like that. And just make sure that you squash all the ends here so that it can't come out. There you go. And then what you do is you put it in here and you roll it around. That's why you need a flat bowl or there you go. Chicken Kiev, how easy is that?
Wow.
So easy, isn't it? So I will make another one. But flatten it to the size of your hand, really. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, Catherine, the and anyone else is listening, the pre-clean option would be under the button with the what do you call it? You know, the button where you have turbo and
Okay, one that looks like a little book.
yes, the dough mode. Mental blank there. Sorry about that.
That's all right. So it's bottom right-hand corner, isn't it, of the screen?
Something like that. Yeah.
Pam, you've got a TM5.
I do.
I haven't looked at one for a while. All right, so that's as easy as it is. You just literally make sure you cover up. It says make sure there's no thin patches. Make sure you cover it up. And there it is. So I'm going to just get my crumbs again, and I'm going to roll it in there. And what it does say too is that when you've crumbed all of them, if there's crumbs left, just roll them in that again. So how easy is that? So much easier than you probably think. It looked like there was a hole there somewhere. I'm all right. Yeah. So they're not scary at all. I always thought they were, but they're definitely not scary. They're very, very easy to do. All right, we'll put these aside. And I'll finish those off for later. I'm going to get my cheesy things out so I can smell them.
That's always a sign.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Boom. TM5, second icon on the right with turbo is where the pre-clean function is.
Boom. Oh my goodness, looking good.
A bit more specific than my vague answer. Haven't had a coffee yet. Maybe that's my problem.
There you go. There's the keto cheesies. Keto cheddar. What were they called? Keto cheddar. I should know. Cheddar biscuits. They're really amazing. So I'll put them over here. Get the rest of this chicken out of the way. Just roll it up and put it in my fridge until we've finished. I'll make the rest of them. And then basically what you do, let me just see if I've used anything. You're not going to, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've done that. So it does say I think the recipe says, I just have to have a little look at me for a minute. The recipe says that you it makes 6, and there are yeah, that's what I make. There are 3 of us, so that's perfect for 2 meals. But if you are you know, if there's more of you in the family or there's less of you, I have done it once when I made it with 4, or you can. I've also done it with 8. So you can make them as whatever size you like. They can be frozen for up to a month and cooked from frozen. You just have to add more time. And it does say brown them first and then put them in the oven, but I just put them straight in the oven. Just get rid of them.
And Mandy, are those keto cheesy biscuits, are they chewy or crisp?
They're sort of, depending on how brown they are on the outside, they're crisp on the outside, but they're not chewy, but they are soft on the inside because it's an almond meal.
Yeah, right.
All right, now let's just have a look.
Mandy,
yeah.
Mandy, before you head on to the next thing, I've just been making the chicken Kievs as you've been making them, and rather than using almonds, I've used gluten-free breadcrumbs.
Fantastic.
I've made them once with the almonds, and the kids didn't really like them. So I'll let you know how they go.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
So you can change it up a bit.
You've been doing a cook-along, Kelly.
I have.
Yes, yeah.
Good on you.
So that was my bowl after the pre-wash. So it's not 100% clean, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot cleaner than it was. And if you think about it, some of the dirty stuff was at the top here. Right. Oh, the other thing I was going to just mention with the salmon, so obviously you can choose whatever herbs you want to use for the salmon. Oh, no, it hasn't dripped down. But if, like Lisa said, you didn't actually put them in parcels, obviously your fish would get fish juices dropping down in here, and you could actually use that as a fish stock. So just always be thinking about what else you can use out of this. That's just water because we weren't doing that. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a wash. Okay. Right. So we're going to go on to need a clean dry bowl for this one. We're going to go on to the hollandaise now. So I'll just, you should see my kitchen up everywhere. I will clean up a bowl in a minute, another one. All right, so next simple thing, salmon, we've got that served with lemon. But I'm going to make hollandaise because it's a keto lemon hollandaise. And it's American because all the keto recipes are actually American, which is interesting. Okay, 9 ounces of unsalted butter. A couple of bits here came off.
Oh, so somebody's saying we haven't done the guacamole yet.
No, not yet.
No.
Nearly. I know, as I said, I was a bit ambitious trying to fit everything into an hour.
I know, you're really working hard there.
So then it says lemon zest, dried tarragon. So I'm putting those in with the butter in there. Smells delicious.
Sorry, I was just doing some other, taking a photo of everyone, screen grab of everyone, just have your lovely faces.
All right. So that's going to melt for 4 minutes, 160 degrees Fahrenheit on speed 1. So whilst it's doing that, I'm going to just wash a bowl out so I can do the guacamole in the other machine. I have to find my seat first.
Yeah, so Catherine's saying you could grate your lemon rind first and then add the tarragon, etc.
You absolutely can. The reason I didn't was a time saver because, as I said, I was being ambitious trying to fit so many things in. But
yeah, I was just going to say there's a lot of recipes going on here, but yes, definitely.
You can, yes. All right. So that was just the rest of our chicken Kievs. And you know, actually on all of these recipes, if you want to actually look forward or just check on tips and Hence, you just hit the 3 dots up there, recipe detail, the arrow down here, and it will actually show you. We come down here, you've got the nutritional, so these are, I don't know if you can see that, but 1.7 grams of carbs and 29.4 grams of protein and 35.2 grams of fat. So that's why they're low carb healthy fat. And then you've got, you know, some tips and things like that. So that's at the bottom of all your recipes. And if you want to get out of it early, you can also do that and cancel recipe. Yes. Okay. So guacamole. And this guacamole, the reason I chose this is because Michael Mosley, with some of his breakfasts, he says, have boiled eggs with guacamole.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, really good. So, start cooking. I've got my coriander in here. I've got some stalks and stems and little bits of roots. There wasn't much left on there, but that's all there. 20 grams of red onion, those are going in. With a clean lid. Yeah. You would have thought you could use 5 bowls.
Well, you're doing an awful lot of recipes there. Sorry.
Yes, I know. 3 seconds, speed 7. Mind you, as a consultant, you can earn bowls, so that's a good thing. Spread down the sides of the mixing bowl. So there we go. One fresh tomato. So I have quartered it just because it's set to DC, and I find it's easier to DC if you've got quarters.
So he's asking if the guacamole goes brown, Mandy. Well, she might not be able to hear me with that going.
Well, my tip on guacamole, yes, it will. If you're not going to eat it straight away, I mean, it's something that you usually just make and eat. You're not going to eat it straight away. As much as I hate Glad wrap, plastic, if you put Glad wrap directly on top of it so it's touching it, it's just because it's the air, the oxidization that makes it turn brown. So if you just cover it exactly, you know, right on top, should be all right. And the other tip I actually learned from the wonderful Fiona Hoskin, who has a great website. If anyone is dairy-free, gluten-free, any of those sorts of things, go to fionahoskin.com. She's got some great recipes. Just finish this off. 20 grams of lemon juice is in there. 3 avocados. I do have to, so if it didn't go brown, Zoe, I have to cut them up now. So I'll just quickly do those and then we'll go back to our hollandaise. Yeah, so I was going to say, what Fiona said, she said her guacamole is really basic and really delicious. It's not on cookie dough, so just get these in here. What she does, if she's making guacamole and she has to make it in advance, she will then make a pesto and put the pesto, make it like a layered dip. So she has the guacamole on the bottom and then she puts a layer of pesto on top. And that stops the guacamole from going brown.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I've made it. It's very good. My sharp knife. This is a very sharp knife, so probably a good thing actually. So what's everybody eating? What are you cooking for dinner tonight, everybody? Chicken Kievs?
Oh, now,
anything planned?
Could you add dried chili to the guacamole? I like it spicy. I think so.
Yeah, I can't see why not.
Yeah, or fresh.
Yeah.
I'm having rice lamb tonight because there was nothing else left in the supermarket.
It died yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, I got that a couple of days ago, but
yeah.
On Boone, you're a tobacco sauce. I'm assuming you mean Tabasco sauce, Boone. Kelly's having a chicken Kievs that she's been doing as a cook along.
Oh, great.
I think that's good actually to do things like that as a cook along when you know that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I did put a shopping list and prep list up in my group, so people could if they wanted, because I got the question. Are we cooking along? All right, sorry. Seriously messy hands. Can't wait to have to eat that. All right, so I've got my avocados in there. Pinch of salt. Something else I learned at that retreat, how important salt is in your food to add flavour. Just amazing. Really brings out the flavour a lot. Another thing that we're told is really bad for us, but actually we need salt. Three seconds, speed 5, reverse.
Chicken and veggie from last night into soup, add lentils and stock and wacko, you've got some soup. Sounds lovely, Sue.
What did you make?
Sue said she's going to make my chicken and veggies from last night into soup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good idea.
Stock.
Good idea. So, yeah, so Mike buys these, one of his breakfasts is literally, he's got his recipe is very similar to this, but it's maybe not quite the same. But obviously you can just do it in your Thermomix, it's so easy. It's a really yummy one. So you have your boiled eggs, or you can hard boil your eggs. I don't like my eggs too runny. And just have it with the guacamole. Delicious. Really, really good. So there's the guacamole. Super simple. Super delicious. Right. Back to that's my butter. This is for the hollandaise butter with the tarragon in it. Put that into something. Trying to guesstimate how big a bowl I need. Put that out of the way.
I agree, Rosario. I think on top of the poached eggs would be spectacular. I might try that tomorrow morning.
There you go. Good. Insert the butterfly whisk. All right. So butterfly whisk. This is the way I do it. I don't know if everybody does it the same way, but probably most of my customers do, because I probably taught them to do it this way. With your blades, you've got 2 sets of blades. This is more for Zoe, all right? It's very new. And Glennis. So 2 sets of blades. Each set of blade has a rounded side and a sharp side. You've also got 1 set of blades that is higher than the other. Goes over, as I said, I think you can do it anyway. This is what I find works for me. Put it over the rounded side of the higher set of blades and just give it a twist towards that blade in front of it, if you like, it going clockwise. And that's the way it will stay in. I like that because it's then, if it's pushing against anything, it's pushing against the blunt side. Have 3 egg yolks. One ounce of water. See, we're keto, so it's American. Then the scales. -2.
So Catherine's saying, what do you do with your leftover egg whites, Mandy?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I've been contemplating that one because I don't really want to make meringue. But I did think I could add them into some scrambled eggs.
Oh, yeah.
So just mix them in with some scrambled eggs. Other people have probably got other, you can do, what are the French things? Macarons. I think they even need egg whites, don't they? But I'm not sure if they need eggs as well. Salt. Anybody else got ideas on that? Or
I think, well, a lot of people are into those. Well, some people anyway, if they're a bit, some people are, pancakes, says Boone.
Mandy, is the Fruity Dream just egg whites?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good thing.
So,
Kalman, I tell you what the best value avocados are, the ones from Aldi that you get in a whole bag. they're invariably hard as a rock when you first buy them, so it's not going to help you today. If you probably have to pay about $3 or $3.50 for a riper one today, but a big one. But those bags of small avocados are fabulous from Aldi.
Whilst that's just doing its little thing there, I'm just going to show you. Obviously, I've run out of bowls. 6 bowls would be required. Just when you're saving recipes, I don't save many recipes in my bookmarks, but I do have just a handful. And boiled eggs is one of them. It's quick and easy to find them. So here we go. I don't know if anybody's, have you done boiled eggs in your Thermomix with anybody?
I do them all the time.
Yes.
Catherine does.
Yeah, I love it. And I don't like my egg yolks running. So we can put them on, take the dog for a walk, come back and our eggs are done. Great.
Do you need the blade? Sorry, Mandy.
Sorry,
do you need the blade cover?
No.
No? Okay.
I know, because these are going in a basket.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Simmering basket.
So basically you have 400 grams of water. You put the simmering basket into your Thermomix. TM5 owners no lid, TM6 owners have a lid. 4 chilled eggs into the simmering basket. Lid on. Cooking time depends on how you like your eggs. 10 minutes for very runny. 11 minutes for running. Remembering it takes about 9 or 10 minutes for your water to boil, so that's why it's there. 12 minutes for soft. 13 minutes for firm boiled. 14 minutes for hard boiled. So here you just set your time, and you go from there. Brilliant. The best thing.
Thanks, man.
Okay. All right. Back to this, and then our grand finale.
Now, we've got a quick question here. With the boiling eggs, would just like to know how long they should cook if you use almost boiling water to begin with.
That's a very good point. Well, I would take, I think you'd have to experiment a little bit, Catherine, but my general rule is, it's 9 or 10 minutes for the water to boil, so just take that off and err on the side of caution, obviously, to begin with, and then you could just work it out exactly, just a bit of trial and error. So we are doing adding Parmesan cheese to our hollandaise. Whoops, Parmesan cheese. Some of it went in, some of it went down the side of my Thermomix. I think there's a little hole at the back to push it out through. All right. Put it on. So 4 minutes. 160. I've got to turn up to speed 4. Meanwhile, follow the next step, which will be no doubt adding this back in. So I'm going to speed 4. Slowly pour the reserve melted butter onto the mixing bowl lid, little around the measuring cup.
Might want to move the camera if you can. Got a spare hand. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I haven't done this before, but Lisa's saying if you start with boiling water and eggs cold from the fridge, they might crack. Now, they're not sitting in the water, they're in the basket, and it's about 400 grams, so it's underneath. It's mainly steaming, but you might be right. I must admit, I use my eggs straight from the pantry. I don't keep them in, unless it's very hot weather, and I take about 2 minutes off the cook time. So... that's another factor.
finishing off. I don't know if you can hear me, but oops, hang on, this way. That's the inside of those cookies. Try one. Very good.
Mandy, are the cookies crispy or chewy?
Sorry, I can't hear because of the Thermomix going on in the background. Pam will have to answer any questions.
Yeah, she said before they're on the outside they're crispy, but not so much, not like a gooey brownie or something like that. Depends how much you cook them for. Though that was the previous answer. So I don't think they're super. Super. I don't think that. Mind you, they didn't look. They certainly didn't look hard, did they? They looked nice and soft inside.
Ooh, looking good. Good lunch.
Yeah, I think
today.
I think that's true, Sue. I sometimes press my biscuits too, but gosh, they look so lovely like that.
Oh. So it does say it's actually really important. I'm putting this into a mini thermo server. It does say it's important to get it out of the Thermomix once you've made it so it doesn't split.
So the biscuit recipe, Zoe, is from an American site. So you've just got to have the US on your filters to access that on Cookie Doo.
All right. So salmon, veggies. It's looking good. Going to fall apart a bit, but my customers know that presentation is not my best point. Okay, a little bit of hollandaise on the top.
Rosario is asking if it lasts for long. Can you freeze it?
Hollandaise?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. I've got, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it might split, Rosario. It's pretty temperamental.
So the only, let me just, okay, so let's just show you what we've done. So we've made the keto biscuits and the guacamole. We've made the simple steamed salmon with the hollandaise, a few veggies, and not cooked yet, but chicken Kievs. Okay, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else I missed in the notes, so I'll just come back to the other screen a minute. Yeah, so the mini thermo server, I've just put this in. That is a host reward. So if anyone's looking at hosting, that is something that you can get. And obviously, I don't know who's on here and who's come with who or what. But I did say that there was a prize, a draw to go in for anybody who bought someone along with them. And what it is one of these, it's a reusable Ziploc bag. I've got one that's open here, so you can see. It's like this, and Kelly's got one. And it just goes on, hang on, wrong side. And that, just like that, and it's great for soups and things like that. Okay.
Right, well, Boone, you're such a legend. Boone's just Googled it. Hollandaise can be frozen and thawed for serving, but don't ever microwave it. The high heat will break the sauce. Yeah, that's where it'll split.
Thank you.
Room temperature with occasional stirring. Very impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so any other questions?
Getting lots of love. Everyone thinks they're
Oh,
great.
good. Oh, good. And has everybody learned something? Hopefully.
Well, I think so.
Yep.
And Kelly, I want to see a picture of your calves on the Facebook page, please.
Yep. Do you want before and after shots? As in pre-cooked, after cooked?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? Why not?
We'll do that.
Yeah, great. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming along. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we get a bit more sunshine tomorrow. Pleasure.
Thanks, Mandy.
All right.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mandy.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, Zoe. Great. She was there.
You
Good.
made it with a mum by the look of it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You must be
Fantastic.
exhausted, Mandy. That was full.
That's pretty full on. Well, I just get a bit enthusiastic and don't want to share so much. I'm just going to go give this food to someone before it goes cold.
That was fantastic. It really was. Now I'm going to do, oh no, I need a different one. Oh.
Right, unless you've got any feedback, you don't have to stay. But is there anything you particularly want to say?
Can I
Thank you
just
very
take a
much.
quick picture of that? I want to have a quick photo of that, a screenshot. If you can do it on the, I can do it on that one if you like.
Hang on.
Yeah, the other camera. That's it.
Oh, hang on.
Over a bit. That's it. Beautiful. Just doing a snip. New. Okay, away you go.
So,
Thank you.
so that's your lunch. That's your lunch, is it, Mandy?
Yeah, that's lunch, absolutely. Thank you both for coming on. Oh, I can stop the recording.
No problem. So yeah, if you set up the recording, because a couple of my customers said they would come, but I think they obviously missed it. They
Right.
got young